Now, I'm not one for doing analyses. As you can tell, theories are more my forte. But hey, a lot of you love my Smoky Quartz Breakdown, and a ton of you actually understood the point I was trying to get across with my I love Teen Titans video. So what the heck? Let's shake the barrel full of snakes and touch on something that's really gonna get me in trouble. The relationship between Lapis and Jasper. Lapis Lazuli was first introduced to us in Season 1, Episode 25, Ocean Gem. We learned that she was a cracked gem trapped in a mirror for thousands of years. It was because of Lapis even that we, the viewers, began to realize what the gems really are by her conversation with Steven before she fled into the sea, then into space. Then she briefly appears in Season 1, Episode 46, The Message, to warn Steven and the gems. Then she comes back to Earth in Episode 49, The Return, ironic, with Jasper. This is also the first time we see Jasper, the big hulking beast who I called a guy back in my Pearl video, and I'm still postponing my apology/explanatory video about it. So right off the bat, we've been introduced to these characters and we've categorized them in our heads. We see Lapis as weak and used and helpless, and we see Jasper as powerful and authoritative and mean. So by the end of episode 50, Jailbreak, when Jasper and Lapis fused and became Malachite. But before that, we clearly see Jasper try to trick and persuade Lapis to do something that she herself once opposed. Lapis agreed, but we all know she did it to trap Jasper under the sea. We don't fully see Malachite again for a while, but in Chilted or Chilted, I don't fucking know, Steven gets in her mind and we finally understand what Lapis is going through to keep control of the fusion. It's strenuous, hard, and requires all her energy. Are things starting to sound more familiar? Again, the fandom brushes this off and still feels sorry for Lapis, and we actually commend her for what she's doing. Then season 3 kicks off with Jasper gaining control of Malachite. She begins to appreciate this fusion and to commend it, and convinces Lapis that they both should fight against the crystal gems, against Alexandrite. That fusion dance though. They get split up. Garnet brings an exhausted Lapis back to the barn, and Jasper fell into the sea.
Into the sea!
Everything goes quiet again until 15 episodes later in Alone at Sea. That shit really happens. Now, I've got to be honest, so far no Steven Universe episode alive gave me more of a panic attack and anxiety symptoms than this one. This one was the saddest episode, this was the most scary, this was the most heartbreaking, most mentally scarring, and this just stressed me the fuck out.
I miss her. What?
Most shocking sentence in Steven Universe. Admit it. This episode fucked with you too. Lapis admits to liking the fact that she took out all her frustrations on Jasper, that she hated her and she still missed her. She missed using all her strength on her. That is some dark stuff. When Jasper came back and climbed onto the boat, I have to be honest, my perception of her became totally different. I saw Jasper as the one victim to a bad relationship. Probably has something to do with the way the animator decided to change her eye design, I don't know. Unlike Ruby and Sapphire, who don't view Garnet as themselves, but as a personification of their love, Lapis became Malachite. She became this entity that was a symbol of power, strength, and control. Lapis was the bad guy. We think that because Lapis was trapped and controlled and bullied, that it was okay for her to do the same? Jasper was right. Steven, you need to be pointing that shield elsewhere. Steven Universe just showed us how an unhealthy relationship can be just as binding as a stable, healthy one. Both of them knew this was bad, they both hated it, but they wanted it. Jasper wanted Lapis back too, claiming it would be different. I've heard that line before. I'm more attached to this subject because I personally know how an unhealthy relationship can damage you, how rotten and bad it can be for a human being and for human growth. You need to move past it. Cut it out. Go cold turkey if you have to. Find someone better. Someone who makes you better. P.S. Shout out to my lovely bae. I love you. Steven Universe emphasizes this, and I love that they're portraying these complex things to kids and adults. Not everything is sunshine and roses and happily ever afters. No one's life can end up as a Twilight story. Nothing is black and white, and you can never be 100% sure of something and its outcome. Now I pass this question on to you. Do you believe that after all I've said that Jasper is still the bad guy? Or do you think Lapis did a really bad thing here? Do you have a similar experience with bad relationships you'd like to share? Where do you draw the line at a relationship going from controlling to being non-consenting? Jasper did want Lapis, and she was the one that convinced them to fuse in the beginning. So does that still mean Jasper consented to be Malachite and how it turned out? Or is it different? I'd love to know what you guys think. This topic is so deep, and I know a lot of people have a lot to contribute about it because it's just so broad. And one thing I love about Steven Universe is different people can have different perspectives of the same thing. I just love that. That's something I like about humans in general. I'd love to know what you think and what your perception of this is. And before I wrap this up, I'd like to say that the voting for which anime I review is almost done. Erased was in the lead, but Assassination Classroom is dominating right now. Hurry up and go and vote. Lastly, shout out to Osmat1 for being my first YouTube viewer to transition to Wattpad. That I know of anyway. Thank you lovely guys so much for clicking to watch. Do not forget to read my books on Wattpad and support me on Patreon. And as always, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and stay awesome. This is TVC. Sign out.